the Reverend Al Sharpton, host of MSNBC's Politics Nation, president of the National Action Network, and my good friend. Rev, there are a lot of people who don't really know the work of the Civil Rights Division of the Department of Justice. It's storied. It is storied. This is a very big deal, stopping its work right now. What's the net effect it's going to have on people?
The net effect is that there will not be a department armed with federal law to protect citizens against hate crime against women, against crime against LGBTQ. The human rights of all of our citizens were protected by this division, the Civil Rights Division. And let's remember, when you mentioned George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, and you could have mentioned Ahmaud Arbery, all of that happened while President Trump was president.
But that wasn't the only black people who got beat up or killed by police was under Trump's administration, which is why I'm so pissed off when they bring this credible Al Sharpton in to get the black people back in a big old pile so we can start helping and fighting for LGBTQ and Hispanics and illegal immigrants and whoever else. I mean, we cater to every group, and we keep doing it on the backs of our civil rights movement. The civil rights movement is dead. They killed that shit. And we ain't going to try to, like fools, continue to go down that path. They defeated us. They killed Martin Luther King. They killed Malcolm X. They shut that shit down. And we grabbed closer to them. We became more of a part of the government and the oppression and the things that go against us. We didn't go and come back stronger or figure out a different way. We succumbed, and Martin Luther King and Malcolm X were just doing something that met the times. What that shit they were doing back then does not meet these times, and we need to quit talking about it. We need to come up with some other shit. And if civil rights is going to be synonymous with LGBTQ and illegal immigrants and blacks and everyone else, then we need to respectfully remove ourselves from that fucking conversation. Because we need something that is exclusive to us. When we got this motherfucker up here and he start bringing out, you are supposed to be a black leader. And you talk about every fucking body else but black people. So at this point, Al Sharpton, you can go ahead and defend the LGBTQ. We get a black president, that's what the fuck he did. We get black leaders, that's what the fuck they do. And then we want to fight hard to get the Civil Rights Division back, and we the ones who benefit the least from the shit. Well, I don't give a fuck. Let the Civil Rights Division go away. Maybe Trump's onto something. And maybe we should be onto something too and move the fuck on. It wasn't doing us any good anyway. It ain't nothing but a bunch of congressional black caucus motherfuckers who don't do anything for us, who are in charge and running that shit. And we ain't seen that we ain't progressing for shit. And we're going to fight for it to come back to help other people. Nah, that's okay. Let it go. I'm glad it's gone. Shit, fuck it. Let's see what we can do different. Let's see what our, now the Black Congressional Caucus, they don't get 4 years to just chill. Now they got to stand up and think of some shit. Oh, shit. He got rid of the civil rights. Well, fuck it. We are the Black Congressional Caucus. We ain't the LGBT caucus. We ain't the illegal immigrant caucus. So we're going to respond for black people, because that's who put us here. That's who we're here to fight for. And if that's not the truth, then they need to disband, or they need to quit representing us. And we need to really represent ourselves from outside the government, because we are so watered down and weak. You know what I'm saying? If somebody give you a shot of tequila and you pour it in a gallon of water and drink it, we that shot of tequila, you can probably drink it a lot easier. But we that full shot of, don't water it down, don't mix it with nothing. That's that shot, take it. And that's what we are. And we need to quit pouring ourselves into that watered down government, that watered down. They are oppressing us. The Democrats and the Republicans together are oppressing us. They disagree on some shit, but that ain't the kind of shit they disagree, but they both agree on us. We are the ping pong ball being popped back and forth, and we're believing that these guys are fighting for us. And if we make any small gains like 60 years ago, And then this guy comes in after all these other presidents was like, yeah, we comfortable with them. Yeah, we cool with them. Yeah, they ain't doing shit. Yeah, we leave that. They ain't taking over the world or nothing. These civil rights things that some motherfucker in 1960 something enacted, and we still singing them prayer. What the fuck have y'all done since? Nothing? Nothing to sing about? He's taking away something that's been there since the fucking 60s. And he can just take away with a stroke of a pen, and we mad, and we ain't benefited, and we got black guys locked up all over the country, and we got black people unemployed and homeless all over the country, and we mad. We should be happy that shit's gone away. Let's see what we get next, or what they fight for next. Nothing. We're gonna have to do it ourselves, y'all. I'm telling you, we can't rely on our celebrities. You have to really be in the struggle to do this fight, because anybody who has made it out of the struggle don't see it. They like, what? No, we're good. On a home, we're good. No, that ain't the way it work. That ain't the way it work. That's why we keep you might be doing good in life, but when you get pulled over, you wonder why you got your fucking head pressed against the concrete with a police's knee in the middle of your back, because it ain't over, and it ain't ever going to be over. Why haven't the Democrats and the Republicans, or anybody in this country, figured out the civil rights and the police brutality? Why haven't they figured that out? Just the fact that on site. See, I can't support LGBTQ because I'm not, but I also can't support that kind of shit because there's black people in LGBTQ and they're LGBTQ first. No, you James Baldwin. Do you guys know who James Baldwin is? He was in the LGBT, I guess if it was called that then, he was gay. But he was black first. You can be gay, but you black first. That's what they see first, your black head. They come for you because you black, not because you gay. Now, if you black and gay and they find that out later, they might press a little harder. I don't know, but it is not in our interest to be LGBTQ first and then black. It's not in our interest to be anything first and then black. But right now, being black is just some bullshit that they're using as propaganda for other groups to actually step on our necks and shoulders and go further than we did. We've gone as far as we're gonna go with this civil rights shit, y'all. If they restore it, if Trump sits with this dummy and restores the shit, you know what? You're right. It might be a game. I hope they don't. I really do. I really hope they gives us an opportunity to do better. If this stuff was enacted basically in the 60s and we haven't benefited shit from it, wealth gap wide and the motherfucker, everything else still fucked up, and you expect us to whine and cry because Donald Trump came along and I don't give a fuck. Donald Trump don't give a fuck about black people just like the Republicans don't, just like the Democrats don't. So don't make us run to you and grab your knees and hold on real tight so you can protect us some more. We don't want you to protect us no more. We good. We good. We need to figure this shit out for ourselves. And the civil rights movement is dead. It died way back then, and here we are in 2024 still talking about it. Because we didn't get no goddamn where. Not where we need to be. It gave us the right to vote so we could vote for them.
And he did nothing. But the Civil Rights Division under Biden came in and prosecuted the police in George Floyd.
And they will. They'll do that shit. Now, I would like any of you as a project to look up all the police officers in the history of this country who have been prosecuted for killing black people. You'd be shocked. They didn't really start convicting them until in recent years. I mean, y'all remember the Rodney King, right? They basically acquitted those police officers. Then they come back and get them under some civil rights shit, and they think we supposed to be like, yeah, we got them. They didn't get away. But it didn't change the goddamn department. Them racist fucking departments still exist. So they have to have sacrificial lambs. They have to pluck a police out there once in a while who went a little too far or got too much public scrutiny. Yeah, okay. They'll back up and convict him, and you know, and now Trump pardoning cops, so shit, that don't even matter no more. But the bottom line is this, you guys. The police departments are still corrupt. we are still dying at the hands of police officers. So what in the fuck is bringing the Civil Rights Division back going to do? Now, if this Civil Rights Division was specifically responsible for stopping the murder of black men and stopping black men from going to prison in high rates and uplifting educational opportunities in the country for black people so we don't go to prison, so we can read and write and have computer skills and job skills. People who have a job to go to in the morning are rarely up at night stealing. You got to give us something to do. You have to give us education. You have to give us a way to thrive and to feed our families and not punish us and expect us to sit and watch our children starve to death without going out and figuring it out somehow and getting some food in their stomach. But putting education in our head would be the best way to do it. But nobody seems to get that. That's why the civil rights has to be dead. It has to be. We have to move on, and we have to internalize this fight. Right now, we need to fight for ourselves. We don't need anybody who thinks they're a civil rights leader or whatever the fuck after Martin Luther King died. Go lead somebody else. Go fight for the LGBTQ, because you ain't a good fighter. We haven't gotten anywhere. And all the years of clinging to the Democrats has gotten us nowhere. All they do is make small gains, and then the Republicans come in and shut it down or whatever. But Trump is about the best thing that's probably ever happened for us, because we're going to see it in real time. This motherfucker ain't threatening to do, he's doing this shit. And we like, whoa, it is Al Sharpton and them actually waking us up, because him stopping these civil, if he didn't tell us, we wouldn't even notice. What would happen? Oh my, more black people are going to jail. No, that ain't going to happen. Oh my, the police are killing black. Well, they do that already. You know what I'm saying? So what the fuck is going to really, black people can't seem to find good employment. Well, we have jobs, Amazon, security guard jobs and shit. They hire motherfucking dozens of people at a time. Have you in a room so fucking packed, but you ain't doing nothing but fucking low wage money jobs. They're trying to get the minimum wage up to $16, $18 an hour here in California. I don't know where it is right now, but that's what we fighting for. Fuck that shit. Who want to be fighting for a fucking minimum wage? We shouldn't even be in that discussion. Black people. I got to say this, because I've heard this out of a few of your mouths, and I need you to rethink it before you say it again. The fruit that's not being picked while the illegal immigrants are being deported is not our concern. So anybody who thinks that black people who want illegal immigrants out should go and pick the fruit can kiss my ass, because we picked our fruit. We done all our laborious work. And if in 2024 this is as far as we've gotten, then we have not been taking the right paths. We've been staying too close to our oppressors. Way too close to our oppressors. And I am not happy or excited to hear that we still think the Democrats are going to be our answer, that the Democrats love us. And they don't. They just point blank don't.
Even though they had faced state charges and state convictions and an armored robbery. And they had consent decrees with those police departments. With all of that removed, Trump is now trying to have a society where there would be no redress for the George Floyds, no redress for the Minneapolis Police Department, as well as the departments that they put under decree under the Biden administration. So it is to really undo. He's already tried to undo with dealing with the question of suspending DEI. Now we're dealing with him disarming us from even having the law properly investigate civil rights crimes.
So,
don't fall for it. Civil rights crimes have been happening since we got released from slavery. Civil rights crimes. And in 2024, if we do still need a civil rights division, it's a fucking problem. We do though. We do need a civil rights division. But it don't need to be named the Civil Rights Division. And it don't need to cover all these motherfucking people it cover. Because our shit is different. LGBTQ people aren't LGBTQ until they open their mouth, until somebody see the places or the venues. We are black wherever we go. We are black when we sleep. We black when we not sleep. We black anytime. And it's a difference. And the immigrants, I don't even know why the breath is being wasted. They're not United States citizens. And when they get over here and, as some people say, contribute to our tax base and contribute to, well, then let them in legally. Just fucking let them in legally. Because I guess the first day of Trump's raise, they were like getting felons, getting motherfucking people who have raped people. I didn't know they could do this. People who have raped people in sanctuary cities get out and get released back into that community. They don't get deported. What the fuck? That's what sanctuary cities do? But fuck it, I'm a Republican. I'm MAGA if a motherfucking Democrats think that they can let a person out of jail and who's raped somebody and then not deport them, but leave them in the city because it's a sanctuary city, which means that the person who raped whoever the fuck they raped has more of a right than the person who got raped, and they're an illegal immigrant. He says, nah, fuck that. I ain't a part of that shit. I could not be. And Al Sharpton and the black politicians and the black leaders are on board with that. What I just said, it doesn't even make sense. But they really are putting us in a bad place if they expect us to keep dealing with them. And I hope by now we've all wakened up. Because it's no different than what Kamala was saying. Kamala was trying to leave us behind too. Y'all wasn't mad then. She's saying the same shit Trump is saying. We are all equal. She was saying them fucking words in her campaign speeches and y'all wasn't listening. Oh, we all equal. The LGBT, the immigrants, the blacks, we are all equal. There are no special privileges for nobody. Y'all remember that shit? She was saying it and nobody wasn't mad. She was saying that shit. And I was like, that's strange that she would speak like that, but I disagree. Because we don't have the same struggle. We don't have the same fight. And we have been stuck in this place since we were released from slavery. And if you want to add the slavery into it, add another 300 or 400 years to it. We've been stuck in this place too long for LGBT rights and immigrant rights and all these other rights to be popping up in our conversations. Fuck that shit. We require dedicated and focused attention on this shit from both sides. And the Democrats are as serious as Trump is about us benefiting in any way. They don't give a fuck. And if we fall for this shit, come on, y'all. We know better than this. Look at Al Sharpton. He got power to call a boycott. He ain't got power to do shit. Ain't nobody following him. He hang out with Snoop and them. That motherfucker is about as serious as a black leader. It makes no sense. We have no black leaders. And we don't need no black leaders. We can roll with everybody on the same. We need to vibe on the same level and we good. Everybody know the code and get on it and quit bullshitting.
One of the reasons that the Civil Rights Division stepped in the cases that you mentioned is that states sometimes don't have the power. The crime doesn't meet some sort of state standard. And what the Civil Rights Division of the Department of Justice says is that this crime or this alleged activity violated someone's civil rights, and they go in with federal protection. So sometimes it's the lawsuit of last resort.
It's not only the law. The feds have the resources that some of the states don't have, and it's different federal law. But let's not forget, when he first ran, Charlottesville happened. And you had people marching down the street saying Jews will not replace us. And the Civil Rights Division looks at that. We had the first hate crime summit in the White House with Biden.
And just real quick, it's a waste of time for the Civil Rights Division to be doing anything with Jewish people. They good. They got enough support in this country. You don't hear AIPAC supporting black issues. They don't fuck with us. They deal with Jewish issues, and we need to be dealing with black issues. And I'm pissed off about this Civil Rights Division grouping everybody in there with us, even people who are represented by other groups. We ain't represented by no one else but the Civil Rights Division, and then we got to share it with other motherfuckers, and they ain't doing anything for them or us. Well, more for them than they are us. I'm sorry. They're just using us as God, we got such a good story to tell, though. It's such a good story of having our asses beaten in this country and murdered and killed, and the police on us. And the police, there's absolutely no way that you could just, with a clear slate head, walk into a police department anywhere in this country in a white community, but you just got plucked out of, you were the watch commander in Compton, and they just pluck you out and put you in another city where white people live, and you act the same way you act when you was in Compton. Watch how long your ass lasts. If you police the way you policed in Compton in white areas, you wouldn't last long as a police officer. You couldn't tell your police officers to crack people's heads. You wouldn't be stopping and frisking motherfuckers. You would not be driving up and down the same block too many times, because the citizens would call in and say, why in the fuck is this police car driving up and down my street? That's the kind of shit that you make us think you're protecting us from, and you're not. We're still living in it every day and have been. So until we figure out a way to make that shit stop and them leave us alone, you know, no matter how educated we get, they are going to be different with us than they are with other people. We might have to be given some counties that we can go move to. I'm thinking realistically, y'all. We can't fucking keep doing this and making them or allowing them to use us as like infomercials and shit for other people. Show black people being beaten, kicked, and discriminated against. So everybody go, yeah, you're right. You make a good point. And then you take that argument, that win from that argument, and you go and benefit or share the spoils with other people. That's why we ain't getting nowhere. Haven't gotten anywhere. It's terrible. It's wonderful to see black people in this country doing good financially and moving up and all of that stuff. But it's such of a small concentration of wealth within the black community as opposed to the masses. Something must be done.
Joe Biden is president, Kamala Harris is vice president, with Jonathan Greenblatt of the American Anti-Defamation League and Mark Morial and myself sharing it. So he'll send a signal in 3 days, that I'm suspending DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and I'm going to shut down the Civil Rights Division. He hasn't even been the president a week.
Nope. And he ain't fucking around. But maybe we're used to presidents who fuck around. For him to say he hasn't even been president a week. I think I said something like that a few days ago. He hadn't been president 3 days or some shit. But you know what? When you ain't fucking around, that's what you do. I don't agree with what Trump is doing, but apparently Trump do, and he ain't fucking around. Now, we need to figure out how to counteract that instead of waiting until we win another election. Because if we wait until we win another election, we fucked. And apparently, if we play according to the rules that are set in place, we lose. Because we can't do nothing but shut the fuck up because he's in power and that's what we voted for and all that shit. Remember? Well, ain't nothing we can do if we play by their rules. So we need to get out of their rules. We need to organize and have meetings and understand and not be infiltrated. And if we are infiltrated, they infiltrated will be infiltrated by us. They need to understand that we have to organize. And first we need to understand and accept the fact that we have a problem. Because a lot of black people don't think we do. A lot of black people think we good. We not good, y'all. We not. But a lot of black people do believe that. But once we at least convince you that we do have a problem, then we need to figure out a solution to that problem. And quit thinking that the Democrats got it. Because they don't. They don't have the answer. If we snapped our finger and Biden was, what would he do? He would bring back the civil rights. He would just reverse everything Trump did. And we still would have black people dying at the hands of the police. See, that means that he didn't do anything. He didn't do nothing. The laws and the propaganda and the words out there in your face make you believe. That doesn't mean it changed. It just means it's a law, an unenforceable law, an act, a company policy, but that nobody follows. Those happen all the time. That's why we keep getting our necks broken in this country, because nothing is enforced.
And has declared war on the human and civil rights of blacks, of Jews, of gays, LGBTQ, trans. He's declared outright war.
I want to talk about consent decrees. Again, a word that a lot of people don't know in between times that we hear of these police abuses. But it's the federal government basically saying, we've examined your police department or your city. You have a pervasive pattern of discriminatory or bad behavior, and we're going to monitor you and check in on you until you improve.
And Donald Trump is removing that. Because apparently going and checking on motherfucking police departments don't help. They still shoot people who are black and white and Hispanic. Them motherfuckers are violent. But when you black, it's a special case. It's a special because there's usually no goddamn recourse. They usually get away with that shit. You know, the black people that they kill and the black people that they fuck up and the shit they do out in the streets to black people that never ever make it to the news. The shit y'all don't never even hear about. They're the business as usual, which is why they act the way they do. Because only few cases make it to the news. Most of the time they cracking heads out there and it's just business as usual. So you guys don't really understand it's a real problem. And the Democrats don't understand it's a real problem because they haven't done anything about it. And I don't think they plan to.
Donald Trump is saying that goes away.
And here's the same guy that claims that the Democrats weaponize the system against him, but he will not have them look at whether or not they're dealing fairly with whole groups of communities, whole groups of people based on who they are. So you can deal with the individual downside, but you can't deal with what could collectively been something that would harm the rights of citizens. This is, I mean, I can't think in my lifetime a darker period in terms of dealing with the government not being accountable to protecting the citizens.
Wow, that was deep. Al Sharpton just said that he cannot remember a period in his lifetime when the government didn't protect, and he black. That's the kind of propaganda and bullshit that he'll say in front of a camera and a mic. That's why we don't need him, because he's a goddamn fucking liar. He's a black motherfucker. He used to be out there as a pastor in the streets and all that old bullshit, so that he can fucking knock that shit off. That's some straight fucking lies right there in his lifetime. He's saying it because now he's considering LGBTQ and immigrants and Asians and other people. Because we want this big old network of folks at the bottom who are crushed so they can always have something to step on to get up. Us. Everybody is getting out of that goddamn hole but us. So we need to quit partying with them and hanging out with them and do our own thing. We got to figure it out on our own, you guys. Something that really going to get us moving in the right direction, because we're being met with resistance from both sides. We just don't see it. The resistance from the Democrats is in the form of helping others more than they help us, or making things even as far as opportunities when we're not even as far as opportunities. Why would you make another group of people equal to black people when it comes to opportunities as far as eating and sleeping and buying housing in this country? And that's not the truth. A gay white guy got way better opportunities in this country than a black man does. So you can't be fighting for him the same. It's a different fight.
You're talking about DEI. Donald Trump has revoked a civil rights rule that prevents workplace discrimination that was enacted by Lyndon Baines Johnson in 1965. Quote, it forbade federal contractors from discriminating on the basis of race, color, religion, national origin, sex, sexual orientation, or gender identity. It granted the Labor Department the power to enforce its provisions. Obviously, some of that has evolved, because in 1965 we weren't covering all that stuff. But this was kept in place by Nixon, by Ford, by Reagan, by Bush 41, by Bush 43, all the Democrats included, and for some reason in Donald Trump's first term. But now this idea of being anti-workplace discrimination is categorized as DEI.
Okay. All those presidents that allowed this to go on, what did it change for us? Where are we? Where's the wealth gap? They make laws to appease. They make laws to chill us out. They got laws that guys like this say, well, if you do this, that sound good. That'll calm them down. They'll be real good with you on that one, because it just sounds good. But we've had 60 years. We've had 60 years to live it. So can't nobody tell me nothing. I lived it. I was a teenager and a young man and a middle-aged man, an old motherfucker under all of this. And it ain't changed, and it needs to. And we need to quit pretending that the civil rights division is doing anything for it. But black people, that ain't our fight. Let's ignore it. Let's start a new one. Can somebody? We're pretty good at titling and naming things, and I think this is the opportunity for us to break away from that Democratic Party and not go run into the Republicans. We need to stand on our own, and we don't need to use the United States government to advance. We do not have to become a part of that party that fights against us so hard to advance. We can do it on our own. I know we can. Fuck that shit. They are working against us. The Democrats are doing a little bit of stuff so the Republicans can come and knock it down. Have to be a good and a bad guy. Good cop, bad cop. You know what I'm saying? They playing a game with us. And we have been arrested and murdered by police long enough and dealt with them and been in this country long enough. We got to be ashamed of ourselves. Either we're stupid or we're scared. And I'm starting to think we're scared. I think we're afraid to resist. We're afraid to mount the proper amount of resistance to make our grandchildren and our descendants' existence in this country a little more comfortable. I'm not. I want my grandkids and my lineage to have comfort and respect and a good life. And just because I might be doing good, but we don't pass on generational wealth, that ain't really one of the things that we all have to do, then I might have a good existence and my grandchildren could be homeless, or their grandchildren, or murdered by police officers. Someone in your lineage could be the top of a news story, and it's only because we ain't fighting the right fight now.
And it's gone.
It's gone. And you have to ask yourself, what is the motive? If Republican and Democratic presidents have maintained this, let's remember affirmative action started under Richard Nixon, a Republican. His Deputy Secretary of Labor, Arthur Fletcher, wrote it. So what is so atrocious to Donald Trump that nobody before him saw? We certainly can't say the data says that the problems of racial discrimination at the workplace is something that warrants us to just go and do something else that all.
He's absolutely right. I mean, what did all these other presidents not see? And Trump popped up and it's like, fuck that. Is Trump being more racial? Or is he more of a racist? Or is Trump just saying like, fuck that shit? I'm making it known that white people in this country are about to have the same opportunities in this country as everybody else, so that they can, widen their gaps back to where they need to be. Maybe Trump feels that LGBTQ and black and immigrants and Asians and all these other people in this country are sucking the oxygen out of the room for white people, and he's trying to make sure he puts something back in there for them. Because you don't have to make special programs for white people. All you have to do is take away all the special programs for everybody else. But we didn't need to be worrying about that, because we aren't the benefactors. We ain't benefiting from the shit. All these programs that are in place that really are at the foundation were based on civil rights and black people have moved on without us. And so we need to go in another direction, and we need to lock it up where it's things that they can't steal from us. And the only way they can steal is if we give it to them. And that's when we start hanging out with Democrats and people who pretend to be our friends.
All of that is resolved. So he's playing to a race-based crowd. He's trying to, in many ways, play this us against them, which is why we have said in National Action Network and other groups that we've got to go after the private sector that wants to end DEI and say those that want to take that side, you don't want diversity, inclusion, and equity, then you should have a diverse consumer base.
He's absolutely right there. But how can we boycott these companies who have hired our rappers and athletes to woo us in? Those guys at the top need to be the beginning of that boycott. If you're one of these professional athletes or a superstar or an actor, and you have you're gonna have to relinquish that shit and publicly speak it to other black people, and that's the beginning of a boycott right there. Not what Al Sharpton is talking about. We need somebody in a position at Under Armour or Nike or somewhere. Michael Jordan needs to step up and be like, fuck this. Because Nike has done little things that look like they're trying to do something to help black people. Nike got a whole lot of money. Why don't Nike start opening up Nike business centers and libraries around the country where young people in underprivileged communities can go in and learn computer skills or entrepreneurship or a host of other things? Because they don't give a fuck. They only do what we make them do. And Michael Jordan's cigar smoking ass is comfortable, then we all comfortable. Because we ain't getting there. He ain't in a position to relinquish shit. So, how much money do you need? I don't know. But we are in a bad place because we need to get our moral code right. We can't sell out our people for money no more.
We're going to 90 days, start targeting some of these companies that say, fine, you can go with Trump, but you will not have our consumer dollar. How did Martin Luther King start? He started by boycotting the Montgomery bus boycott. So sometimes when you won't hear our appeal, you will hear our dollars.
And the other side of that,
the other way.
Yeah, he can say whatever he wants. Yeah, appeal our dollars and all that. We ain't got no goddamn dollars. We need them. We need money so we can boycott and all that. But, it goes beyond just boycotting. You can't boycott and your own people in movies and in rap and in art and just diminish your whole race. Just say the worst shit about you that other people can't even say. And if other people can't say it, then we can't say it either when it comes to just decimating ourselves the way we do. And then we want to fight back for some civil rights so we can help who? Help the people who we call hoes and bitches and all that shit? Is that who we trying to help? We can't. You got to make up your mind. Either we love ourselves or we don't. And none of that can be accepted. When these rappers get up there talking that fucking word pornography, it doesn't. Nobody needs to know about what they do in the back seats of their cars or on. Some of that stuff is horrible stuff, and our young children are hearing that shit at earlier ages than they should. And an earlier age for that kind of music would be under the age of 25 for me. That shit don't need to be spoken. It has nothing to do with age. It's just about the love for your people. How can you feel that way about your people to where the beats behind you just tearing a black woman apart verbally is acceptable? It just can't be. We gotta love ourselves. They make bumping ass positive music, and you guys can too. And if they don't allow you to, put them on blast. Say it. Quit the record. Quit doing music and let people know why. Because I can't keep talking about my people that way. That's why. I don't know shit. People need to start speaking up. It's a lot of fucked up shit going on in this country. And if Donald Trump is I'm kind of excited. I don't know. It sounds fucked up, y'all. But we can't keep going the way we're going. We're kind of being silenced from reporting the abuse. The abuse is going on all around us. And we keep playing like we're fighting. I don't like that word fighting. We need to start winning. Fuck's fighting, and it's quick ways to win. Trump is coming in and he doing what he want to do, but he going right to the point. The first time, he didn't know what the fuck he was doing. He knew what the fuck he doing this time. You notice you don't see his kids all around him? Because he's not going to send them to prison. Because you guys won't be sick in your Justice Department on him when he get out. Because he won't be able to come back this next time. He get it, but he got people he love safe. They did what they was going to do the first time. They still holding on to whatever the fuck they did the first time. And here we are, still in the same place. It looks like the whole goddamn country is moving forward, the immigrants included, except us. Because we haven't placed a high enough priority on ourselves. Let's just raise the priority level, guys. Everybody wants the same thing for us. Nothing. They don't want us to have shit. They like us here. They like our personalities. They like our charisma. They like our ideas. They like our art. They just don't like us. And, we come with the whole pack. You can't just do that. And we ain't accepting it no more. Like, comment, share, and please subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.